Brad Pitt has basically won joint custody of the kids. Maybe Angelina was thinking maybe the kids can age out of this because the kids are 17, 16, 14, and the twins are 12. Julia, oh please, the fight continues, and the people who, and that's good for tabloid editors because the day they don't get called from sources, Team Brad Pitt or Team Angelina to talk bleep about the other side, is the day they hug themselves tight over fear that the world as they know is ended. Well, you know it's true.
Yes.
We got to talk about the fact that Brad Pitt has basically won joint custody of the kids after a judge declared that other than the deposition that the judge did take from Maddox, who's aged out of this divorce, he's 19.
Mm-hmm.
They've been bifurcated since 2019. It'll be 5 years in September that the incident on the plane, but they have basically shanked each other over, these 5 children.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe Angelina was thinking maybe the kids can age out of this because the kids are 17, 16, 14, and the twins are 12.
That's what you're thinking? Is that she's thinking?
Well, what was she just thinking, but she really wanted the kids to be able to testify. And it seemed like
that bugs me
they're
so
spending
bad.
so much money too on this thing. So, but page 6 says that the judge who Angelina last summer tried to get removed from the case because he was a private judge for them on some other things.
Sure.
And he's the main judge employed by the law firm that Brad Pitt's paying.
Mm-hmm.
So she's kind of saying,
okay,
you're not going to be loyal to me. But anyway, so 19-year-old Maddox, who Brad allegedly attacked on a private plane in 2016 at International Falls in front, the whole family coming back from France, he testified. But the other children, no. He said he gave him more time, and we don't know how much time. Remember, he got to just last September, got to see them without someone being with them.
Can I tell you something about this whole divorce case?
Yeah.
And I think Ann Tressler would agree with me. We're talking, these kids are not like 4 and 6-year-olds anymore. Vivian and Knox, the twins are 12.
Right.
Shiloh's 14. Okay, so the thing is, he has now joint custody. So
it's not, they're not even saying he has joint custody. He has more custody.
He wins joint custody.
He has more custody time, and we don't know what that time was. Was he only getting them 20% of the time, and now it's a 40-60 split? We don't know. Angelina's appealing it because he went from having no one-on-one time without court-appointed therapist. Remember, the whole family was going to therapy. And what she's saying is that this wasn't a one-time incident, the thing on the plane.
Okay, but what he's saying...
He's not saying anything except they don't want any of this to get out, and he better hope no one gets a hold of those sealed documents.
Okay, but can I just say, as a parent, no matter how much you don't like the person you had the children with at some point in a divorce proceeding or in your marriage, I still think from what we know.
See, there's the caveat,
and
Julia.
What we know now is that he is a decent man and he has tried to recover from his mistakes. And I think as a parent and a co-parent, you want your kids to have access to both parents. She has been fighting this tooth and nail.
Okay, but she's being very specific about what she's fighting.
She wants her kids to testify.
She said,
"Oh gosh, Holly,
listen,
Holly,
no, you have to know the specifics of this.
No, we're ready to rumble.
You're putting this on. It's the joint custody is not the issue that she objects to. There are other concerns, and what they're appealing on is that the judge has failed to adequately consider a section of the California court code which says
the kids can testify.
It is detrimental to the child if custody is given to a person with a history of domestic violence. That's what she's appealing on. Okay, that's what she's appealing on. So she's appealing on that. That means she is basically indicating she has receipts, and she is worried about the kids, that he lacked credibility. They're not testifying in open court. All of her kids.
The judge found the actress lacked credibility.
Yes, Lori. I know that. And she is saying that he is not, of course, she's going to lack credibility if he wouldn't even talk to any of her older kids. He didn't even talk to Pax, the 17-year-old, the 16-year-old. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I remember my parents got divorced and I was 15, almost 16. But basically, if we were 14 and up, as I remember it, we could pick who we wanted to live with, our mom or her dad.
They still, I think kids.
Not in California.
Okay, but when we're talking about, but Lori, what we're talking about, we don't know if he gets to see them just a little bit more or a lot more. We don't know.
Yeah,
and we only see her being pictured with the kids. He never takes them out to get papped with them. You only always see her with the children.
Right.
You never see him.
She is the one who's their full-time caretaker. He only got off probation last fall.
All this is saying is he gets a little more access to his kids. But kids don't go if they don't want to go.
I know. And listen,
we're going to fight.
The legal custody is the thing that is what Brad Pitt's team is spinning. They don't want anyone to think about what the better story is. What in the hell is in those sealed documents?
Oh, Lori, we're not going to know, nor should we know. That's their family's private
Julia,
stuff.
Oh, please. The fight continues. And the people who, and that's good for tabloid editors because the day they don't get called from sources, Team Brad Pitt or Team Angelina to talk bleep about the other side, is the day they hug themselves tight over fear that the world as they know is ended.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's true. It is part of the machine. And she just wants to get this judge out because she thinks he's too beholden to the law firm that Brad's employing because he's a private judge for all kinds of other people.
But isn't there other things that we've learned is there's a limited number of these private judges available and it's not like there's this huge long list that she can choose from who she wants, Lori.
Anyway, that's what she's saying. Pitt's response is, Angelina's a lawyer and, I bet it's bad what's in those sealed documents. I bet it's very, very bad. Pitt does not want any of this going public, which is why he's ride or die with the judge. And I like it that Max hasn't said anything, but he's 19. He could certainly give an interview. And I'm sure his mom is saying, no, please don't do that.
Well, you can't. I mean, this is your brother's and sister's dad.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You just don't.
Julia, hello. Do you see what families do to each other?
Well,
what
I don't think it's right.
Peter Pan land are you from? This is what happens. Welcome to Hollywood, girl.
No, I think it's not those two have to figure it out.
The fight continues. And like I said, it's good for tabloid
and at the end of this,
for our show.
And at the end of this, Lori's team Angelina and Julia's team Brad Pitt, but not really. I'm team kids. I want this to be over for everybody because then they can just move on.
Yeah, well, okay. You've never been married to a man who really might have been a pattern of abuse and they might be genuinely scared of him. And I know they've got all that stuff in the sealed document, but that's the magical thinking that you're not putting on it because that does happen. And
yes,
it happens
in
Hollywood.
Right. Yep, you're right.
And it happens in real life. Mm-hmm. And it's a very intimidating thing and a very worrisome thing for the parent. And so we don't know. I mean, all we know is that Brad said he drank and smoked pot every single day since he was 18. And something bad happened in International Falls, including jumping on the, truck.
The little luggage truck and driving around in it.
And peeing on the corner of the building.
And it was October 6th or September 6th. I think it was October 6th.
Yeah. And so, you don't know what,
but you also don't know the other stuff, Lori.
Yes, but she agreed to do all the counseling and they did all of that. Remember, it was a different judge that said based on the thing that happened on the plane, Brad, need to go to therapy, and so do all your kids. And then, by the way, down the way, then Angelina had to go. And then he couldn't see his kids without a court-appointed person. They don't do that.
How many times have you brought that up?
They don't do that for no reason. That is, they don't do that because there's nothing there.
So at the end of the day, what are you saying?
I want to know what's in the sealed
I know
documents.
you do. I hope we never do.
I hope we do.
Oh, Lord. We're going.